going on, Vinyl Community? Tone back with you guys, and I'm here to do a normal video this time. I call them normal videos, but just recent finds and recent listens. It's more so just recent finds. You know, I haven't bought any records, and when I mean recent for you guys, because I haven't bought any records for at the very least 2 months. I've just been dealing with so much regarding work and regarding life, and just been so crazy. I haven't. And some of the records that I have acquired were actually, you know, given to me, not VCLT, but I'll explain later. Anyway, so I just have a few recent acquisitions to show you guys and share with you guys really quickly. I don't want the video to go past 20 minutes, so I'm going to kind of speed through it because I want to do something a little bit special. So before we get started on those, what are we listening to in the background? We are listening to something really cool. It's Diana Rein, Long Road, 2016 on Rude Mood Records. Diana, I know Diana very well. I've worked with Diana on many different levels, aside from production and songwriting. And I'm hoping to do that with her upcoming new record that she's just going into the studio to record. Why are we listening to Diana? Well, I'm going to be giving away 3 of these albums, hopefully signed, and you'll find out how at the end of the video. Now, about Diana Rein. Diana Rein is an independent, modern blues rock artist, bordering on traditional blues. Fantastic blues guitarist, fantastic recording artist. She's just a very, very special musician, and just wanted to share her with you guys. She has gained so many accolades over the past 3 to 4 years, including being featured in so many different music magazines, and more than any of that, in 2016, for this very album, Long Road, she was a 2016 nominee consideree for the 2016 Grammy Awards. There's 2 processes. There's a consideree, then there's the nominee, and then there's the winner. A lot of people go into wanting to become even a consideree, and as an independent artist, it's not easy. She did it with this very album, so she's just really fantastic, and she just announced not too long ago she's going in the studio to record the follow-up to Long Road, and I'm hoping to get in on that project. I've spoken with her about it on the production and the songwriting side, so we'll see what happens. At the end of the video, I'll show you how you can get a copy, or how you can win one of 3 copies that I'm going to be giving away to somebody, to 3 people. And also I'll leave a link to a couple of the songs, as I always do. I don't do needle drops. For those of you who've never watched any of my videos, I don't do needle drops, but I do leave links to samples of everything that I share and that I show, so that you can hear it. I'll also leave a link to where you can purchase that album. So here we go. First thing that I want to show you guys is something really cool. I picked up this 10-inch by Yoke, and if you're unfamiliar with Yoke is the pseudonym of Adrian Galvin. If you're unfamiliar with Adrian Galvin is the lead singer of a band called Walk on the Moon. If you're not familiar with Walk on the Moon is the best thing I could assimilate them to would be Maroon 5. So they're a modern pop rock outfit. I'm a huge Maroon 5 fan, but in my personal musical opinion, Walk on the Moon is even better than Maroon 5. So, lead singer Adrian Galvin is pseudonymed Yoke on his solo/side projects. Now, if you're not a Maroon 5 fan, which some people are not, then you probably would not be a Walk on the Moon fan. But don't fret, because as I assimilate Walk on the Moon to Maroon 5, I would have to assimilate this particular project, the Yoke stuff that he does on the side, to, let's say, Cocteau Twins. And listen, I know that's a big jump from Maroon 5 to Cocteau Twins, but that's just what it is. This is a 2016 4-song EP on B3 SCI Records. I don't know what that stands for. And he has a 2017 follow-up to this. I do not have it. This is titled Far Shore. 4-song EP, and it's fantastic. So it's very dream poppy, very shoegazy, with a pop sensibility. And so if you like Cocteau Twins or things of that nature, shoegaze, dream pop stuff, you fall right in line with this. So very highly recommended. And I'll leave links to all that below. Another thing I acquired that I really like, and it's my only one by this band, which is sort of similar to what I just described with Yoke Lore. This is a Photon band, and Photon band is technically a one-man band. It's Art DeFuria. He plays everything: guitars, bass, drums, vocals, etc. On occasion, he brings on a musician or two to help him where he needs help. Other than that, Photon band is a one-man band. First release was right around 1980, or right 1998, so it's been around about 20 years. And he has several releases under the name Photon Band. And if you like bands that came out of the 90s, out of the UK, such as The Laws or the Beta Band, falls right in line with that. Great indie sound, pop, rock, just really good songwriter, singer-songwriter stuff, very eclectic, yet with a pop sensibility. Again, if you like The Laws or if you like Beta Band, you'll love Photon Band, so highly recommended. This is his last release from 2015 or 16 called Songs of Rapture and Hatred. Songs of Rapture and Hatred on Nod and Smile Records. I love 1970s, what would be referred to as one-hit wonder type stuff, although not all of those bands were one-hit wonders. And I collect 45s of bands from that era, bands that would, from the 70s that would have been in Casey Kasem's American Top 40 or AM pop radio. And I like to find the albums and collect the albums. So I didn't have this one. This is Moonlight Feels Right by Starbuck. If you like, say, Pablo Cruz or even Atlanta Rhythm Section, Starbuck kind of falls right into that feel. And mid-70s, 75 or 76, Moonlight Feels Right, which was the single and also the title track. So I was finally able to find that, which was great. Used to have this, lent it out, never got it back, found another copy, and I'm so glad I did. This is 1989, Soul to Soul. I think it's 89 or 90 on Virgin Records. So if you like bands like, if you're not, I mean, mostly everyone's familiar with Soul to Soul. That late 80s, early 90s revival of neoclassic soul that kind of started here, that was more referred to as acid jazz. So with bands like Brand New Heavies, Jamiroquai or Incognito, same thing, out of the UK. The two songs, of course, that were hot on here were Keep On Moving, which is the title track, and of course Back to Life, both featuring the vocalist Karen Wheeler. If you're not familiar with Soul to Soul, I highly recommend that you get familiar. Great record. I'm glad I was able to reacquire that. I've been looking for this one for a while. I see it here and there, but in really bad shape. Finally got an absolute fantastic promotional copy on MCA. It's the early to mid 80s funk band One Way. And the song off of this album was Mr. Groove. You've probably heard it before. If you like bands like Cameo and stuff like that, One Way is right in that vein. You know, Cameo around the time of the mid 80s to slightly early 80s. That would be the same type of a sound. Daz band, but with a little bit more underground feel to it. So One Way, self-titled, and the song off here was Mr. Groove. I was glad to pick that one up. This one I already had, first pressing, both on compact disc, 80s pressing on compact disc, and the very first US pressing on Light Blue Island label. The reason why I was looking for this is because this is the much more sought after copy, and this is the The original copy came out in 1984. 2 years later, because of the way it sold like fire. They reissued it in 1986 on Black Island label, and that is Legend by Bob Marley. Greatest hits, or best of. Why is this album the album or the pressing to get? Well, because of the popularity and the sales of this record, again, they reissued just under 2 years later. What they did was they grabbed Eric Thorngren, who was a mixing engineer, popular at the time, and they remixed this entire album. And when I say remix, I mean in edit and in levels. And this album sounds fantastic. On top of the remixing, they sent this through probably one of the top pressing plants at the time, and that was Specialty Records Corporation, SRC. So not only did it get a fantastic remix, not a remaster, it kept the same mastering levels, but the remix is different, and they sent it through a top-notch pressing plant. So you have a fantastic mix and an absolutely quiet, fantastic pressing, and this is the one to find. First reissue, 1986, on Island Records, Black Label Island. So if you have the light blue label, first pressing US, get the black label, 1986 reissue. Incredible sounding record. I have almost all the spinners. I didn't have this one. This is 1974's Mighty Love. I always see it, but in horrible condition, just with dirt rings or normal ring wear, and it's just found a fantastic copy. Was really happy to get this. 1974 on Atlantic Records. The songs that came off of here were, of course, Mighty Love, Love Don't Love Nobody, and of course, Since I've Been Gone, which is probably the most popular one off of here. 1974 on Atlantic, Spinners, Mighty Love. This one, I had the 45. It's one of the song that came off this record. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, and one of my favorite bands of all time. And I have a lot of stuff by the Hollies, but I had the single of this, and that's what I would play. So I never grabbed the album, but I saw it in such fantastic mint condition, first pressing, and so I decided to grab Holly's self-titled 1974 on the Orange Epic label, and this of course has the single Air That I Breathe, and it's just a great album. So I was really glad to find this, finally. This I acquired from one of my best record collecting buddies, who's like a brother to me. I mentioned it before, Matt Chance. If you ever see somebody comment Matthew Steven, that's Matt Chance. And I swiped this from him. This is a very first pressing of John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. I've had a copy in the past, horrible condition. This is absolutely mint, very first pressing. Both the vinyl and the cover are perfect, and I was really happy to acquire that too. This one, I've always looked for a copy of this, but every time I find a copy, it's, again, just beat to hell. For those of you who own and know this album, you know how fantastic it is. For those of you who've never heard of it, this is not The Sound of Music. This is a psych folk band from 1976, debut release. It's a, I love it. It looks like The Sound of Music. It's a beautiful day. And the cover's in fantastic shape. The vinyl's in fantastic shape. This is a fantastic, I think it's 1976 release. 1967 release. On Columbia, it's Columbia 360 sound. And just fantastic psych folk. Hot Summer Day, incredible song. Band is called It's a Beautiful Day. Finally got a fantastic pressing of this. So if you don't know about this, look it up, check it out. Highly recommend it. This one, most people would be familiar with this artist from her 1974 single, Brand New Key. Some people call it the roller skating song. I have a brand new pair of roller skates and you have a brand new key. Melanie. Fantastic folk artist. Highly underrated in my opinion. I honestly liken her equal to Bob Dylan, and I'm a massive Bob Dylan fan. Massive Bob Dylan. This is her debut, Born to Be, 1969 on Buddha Records. I've seen copies before, but they're just always trashed. I found an immaculate gatefold copy. Vinyl's perfect. It is a first pressing, and if you are only familiar with her 74 Brand New Key single, you need to get into this artist because she is an absolutely fantastic psychedelic folk artist. This album is a great psych folk album. She does a copy of Mr. Tambourine Man that is absolutely wonderful. Bobo's Party is my favorite song on here, and just a great album. If you see this album and it's a decent price and it's in good condition, grab it. You will not be sorry. This is Born to Be Melanie, 1969 on Buddha Records. I finally completed my collection of Love albums. I didn't have the self-titled. I have all the other ones. I don't have this one. This is not a first pressing. First pressings were on the Gold Electra. And I think it came out in, God, when did this album come out? Well, I know the reissue, I think this is 1969. So I think the first one came out in 67. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't look it up, I'm just going off memory. But this is the, so the first pressing was Gold Electra label. First issue, I should say. First pressing, second pressing of the first issue. Then they discontinued that run. Then they reissued 2 years later on the Red Electra label. So this is the first pressing of the first reissue in 1969, I believe. Love, self-titled. I don't have to tell you, I don't have to say anything about this record. But I finally have it now. Very happy. Excellent copy. So yeah, that's an excellent album. I got that from Mr. Matthew Chance as well. This is the last one I picked up from Matt. Genesis, Trick of the Tail, 1976 on Atco. It is a first pressing. I didn't have this. One of the only early Genesis records I did not have. And this has now become one of my top 3 Genesis albums of all time. I love this album. I don't know exactly where it fits in there. Definitely not number 1, but between number 2 and number 3, I really like this album. So, Madman Moon, excellent song, probably my favorite. And album covers in fantastic shape, vinyl. It is the first pressing on Atco, yellow label Atco, and I just love this album. So I finally have a copy of A Trick of the Tail, Genesis 1976 on Atco. Last but not least, I've been looking for this record for a long time, and you would think living in the record store mecca of the world in the greater Los Angeles area, you would find this album all over the place. But I haven't. I've seen it maybe twice in the past 15 years. I was in Santa Barbara for a writing session, and I decided to stop at one of only 2 record stores left in Santa Barbara. It's called Warbler Records, and I found an absolute fantastic copy of Cartoon. And for those of you who are familiar with Cartoon and are familiar with their only release, which is this one, self-titled, you know how incredible it is. If you're not familiar with Cartoon, if you are a fan of the Byrds have been a topic lately in the VC. Or if you're a fan of the Yardbirds, you will love this record. Those are the 2 bands that I could most closely assimilate to the sound of this particular band. Coincidentally, with the Yardbirds assimilation, let me show you the credits here. If you look in the credits, right there, you will see guest artist Jimmy Page. So Jimmy Page is credited with performing guitar on several of these songs. 1969 on Atlantic Records. This is the only album that this band did. And again, if you like the Byrds and if you like the Yardbirds, this will fall right into your wheelhouse. It is an absolutely fantastic record, and I finally found a copy that is in beautiful condition, both vinyl and cover, and I'm really, really happy about this one. So that's it for now. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. I want to get back to this. Diana Rein, Long Road, modern blues rock, recording artist and guitarist. She's fantastic. 2016 Grammy Award nominee consideration, and fantastic independent blues artist. Here's how you can win a copy. I'm going to try to have Diana sign a copy for you. I'm going to leave my email address below. So when my email address is gone, you know that I've got my 3 winners. Answer this question in an email to me. The first 3 people will win a copy of this. I will take care of the shipping. and I will try to have it signed by Diana. The question is, who is the first female blues artist, not R&B, not rhythm and blues, first female traditional blues artist to be nominated for a Grammy Award in the category of traditional blues artist or song? It doesn't matter. Very first female traditional blues artist to have a Grammy Award nomination. Give me the correct answer. First 3 people with the correct answer will get a copy of this. I got the shipping on that for you guys, and we'll try to have them signed by Diana. So that's it. I will leave links, sample links to all of the music that I showed. Not all of the music, but samples from all the records I've showed. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. God bless you very, very much. And I'll see you very soon. I'll announce the winners in my next video. All right? Peace out.